Hello and welcome to Sabadi Showdown. It's me, Gonzo, today, and we have a slightly different format than usual. We are not live, and we're going to be talking to Jake Corona, who just managed to do back-to-back serial wins with Buggy the Clown. I know we already did a bit of a deck tech with him, so today we will be do something different, and he will be reviewing with me his own gameplay from the semi-finals of Manchester that we were lucky enough to get some coverage for. How are you feeling, Jake?
I'm feeling very, very good off the back of this. It still hasn't quite sunk in yet, but it was certainly a wild couple of weeks with Paris into double regionals.
Yeah, like generally, like you've been doing so well with this deck that it's kind of a shame the format's coming to an end, and we do have exciting things for the following formats, but I think we're gonna try and steer away from those today. We will get more than enough chances to talk about the new ones, but like just to summarize everything you managed to do, if you went to Paris without a finals ticket,
Yeah,
basically, uh, it was very close, right? Like you almost did get it in Dublin, but you didn't quite get the invite rolling down all the way to your
yeah.
position, so
I
you
think
needed to
in
qual.
Dublin I'd got 33rd place,
Hmm.
and I knew if we had a local who had got a trickle down invite at 31st place. So the trickle down invite was almost there, but we didn't quite manage it.
Well, you didn't really need it because you did manage to qualify going 8-0 in Paris, and then I think you lost the last two, but doesn't really matter at the point, right? You already had it. Um, And right after that, even though the finals wasn't as great as you wanted it to be, still a decent record. And you proceeded to do this back to back with Porto and Manchester. So I think it's kind of safe to assume you're definitely the best baggy player in the UK and probably one of the top in Europe. So yeah, congrats for that. And before we
I'm still trying to
sorry.
fact check it, but I believe I am.
No, I think that the fact can be checked very easily, and at least, even though like we do know Roronoa was doing really well with the clown, I think you're giving him a run for his money with these back-to-backs. So yeah, let's take a look at the list a bit, right? So first question is, did you change anything in these 3 weeks? Like, what was the progression of the deck
So
list?
there was only one change made throughout the list throughout the whole time, and that was from Paris going into Porto and um, then the same list for Manchester, and that was just a third copy of Sables into the second Love Mellow Mellow. Um, and I have to say, throughout these couple of weeks, Love Mellow has been the absolute game changing card. It is kind of crazy how many games were solely won off of the card advantage that that card brought.
No, that's makes total sense, and the deck so dense with 2Ks as well. I like just getting an extra card that completely throws off the math that your opponent can do to lethal you. So that's definitely almost as good as Giant in the deck. It's as close to Giant as you can get in blue, I guess. So like, yeah, it's an interesting decision. Would you change anything off the list if you had one more regional to play this weekend? I know you're not going Berlin, but like after all the, I guess, all the reps you've got in the last couple of weeks, are you confident you would stick to it for the very short lifespan of the current format?
I think for this for this OPO 11 format, still, I think I would still use this list. I think the only thing which was question mark over this list was the two Sables. Um, they put in work in some of the earlier regionals, but in the Manchester regionals, they did not come up at all. I was glad they were there. I think I got one off of it. I got one off a trigger in the Betty matchup in Top Cut, but I was already so far ahead that it didn't quite matter at that point. But that was
Hmm,
the only time I didn't discard it that weekend.
that's fair enough. But I guess
But
it
my
kind of
matchup spread was very skewed this
okay. I
weekend.
I was just gonna follow up with that. So why don't you tell me what the Swiss matchup was like?
Well, it was a clown fest, to be honest.
Mhm.
I had five buggy mirror matchups in Swiss.
Oh my god.
which was something I didn't prepare for at all. I have to say, while I
The
was confident in the
circumstances
mirror,
were
it
big
was
time.
it was quite crazy. Yeah, and the worst part about it is I've been preaching about Cloud Gang sticking together all week after Porto Regional,
Mhm.
and then I had to knock out so many friendly clowns.
Yeah, I guess only one can remain standing. So you were that one at A5 is insane, though. I wish I got that kind of matchups in my GP run. It would have been a lot more successful than mine.
While I
But
was expecting an increase in buggies, I certainly wasn't expecting that many.
what was your guess for the format spread? Like, every time you go to a big regional, you kind of do some mental numbers on how many of each matchup are you expecting, more or
I
less. So,
think
like, what
I
did
have
you
to
predict to be your run?
say I kind of wasn't expecting much change from Paris finals, other than more like occasional rogue decks in there. So obviously the field, I was expecting a lot of UP, hoping for a little bit of Betty in there because that deck has been running Rampage. Of course, I was expecting maybe that the one-offs of some of my worst matchups, like the GP, Luffy, Bonnies. Um, but I was feeling very confident into Rogue with the buggy pick because of how consistent the deck was.
Yeah. No, that's fair enough. All right, and before we move to the actual gameplay, other than these semifinals, what would you say was your hardest matchup across the three tournaments?
Very weirdly enough, uh, the answer which no one would expect. In the second round of Manchester, I very, very almost lost to a Shirahoshi.
Oh my god.
Um, that was not something I was expecting at all. In fact, I think I only really won because of my opponent's slight misplay. But they definitely had it me on the ropes for that entire game.
That seems like a weird dynamic in the matchup, right? Shirahoshi running the Jimbes could cause a lot of trouble to your game plan.
They were able to spam out boards quite easily while having protection with Tashigi,
Hmm.
and being able to spam out these 6 cost 8Ks was able to contest with my 7K boards quite nicely. It was certainly a surprise.
Okay, I guess you might have stopped the Bedif run for Shirahoshi. Okay, cool. So let's get into the gameplay. We're going to be watching your semi-finals game against Meri TCG. Shout out to him. He's a lovely chap. And
Yes, a big shout out to him. You may be able to tell from some of our interactions, but we had an absolute blast in this room. We
yeah, I
had
feel
so much fun.
so the pressure was gone by here, right? Like you both already had your serial. You obviously wanted to win the whole thing, but I'm assuming that there's kind of a difference in dynamic between your like top
I
16 game and then
weirdly
being able
enough,
to.
uh, I felt pressure because going into top eight, even though there was no prizing on the line, just because I did want to get further than Portugal regionals and I wanted to win. But
Fair
we
enough.
then had a massive lunch break. We all knew who the top four was at that point, and I'd kind of been spoken to him a little bit, Murray beforehand, and it was the top four at this point was on the other bracket was Fletch, who of course amazing guy, an absolute legend. Sadat, who was a Bonnie I played in Swiss during the day, who I'd been joking with all day that I was going to see him in the finals, and then it was suddenly lining up that we could. And then me and Mary, and it was just such good vibes. I think I probably took my eye off the ball a little bit,
Mhm.
uh, but I was having an absolute great time at this point.
Yeah, no, that does make a lot of sense. Oh, I do love the fun. I feel like I need to copy that tech for the next Manchester
Oh,
regional.
yeah,
So you,
so I was a bit jealous. Although we were in a separated room here, which was surprisingly more air conditioned than the main hall of Manchester Regional. Which for
yeah,
anyone
I
who
don't
played
think
in there,
surprisingly, right? Like I don't think there was air conditioning at all in the main venue. So
no,
it's not shocking to know that was a bit better ventilated. But I gotta say that Sunday was a lot more manageable than the Saturday.
yes,
Um, okay, so. Were you the higher seed
I
or
was
the?
the higher seed. Uh,
Good. Yeah, that's fair.
okay.
Okay, cool. So we basically start from gameplay. I don't know what we were talking about, but we will just organically redo it. It's fine. Mhm. Yeah, we don't want to have to redo the whole hour. Should I do like a mini intro and then you can maybe get the screen in between or something? Or are we good? Okay. I actually forgot. I
I just said about how Mary was really nice and
Okay,
if there
cool.
was
Yeah,
pressure.
yeah. We'll start from that. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's fair. Mm. Okay, so we're gonna get to your gameplay now on the semifinals, and I kind of wanted to ask, how did it feel to
Um,
play this game?
it was kind of weird because I've never done a stream game either,
Mm.
and also I've never got this far in a tournament, having like the two judges like next to us. But it was I was a bit nervous, but then met Robbie, Mary TCG, and he was so lovely. And there was the two judges are both kind of new. It was just such good vibes in this room, and it took away some of the pressure. I maybe didn't
Hmm.
focus as much as I should have been, but it was really good vibes.
Okay, no, that's definitely like really nice to hear. I feel like all four of you like experienced maybe a bit too long of a lunch break, right? Because right after the top eight game is when you got the break.
Yeah, I
Um,
kind of went from my my last Pop Cut game before this finished very quickly because it was a 2-0 against Betty, so that was a very quick matchup. And then I had like an hour 45 of lunch break, which was a
yeah,
bit wild.
yeah, that's a bit long. It's always kind of rough to get back into it, but I guess in the end this is a matchup that you were somewhat familiar with as well, and it's kind of nice that you did get time for nutrition. We don't always get that luxury in tournaments, and at least I hope that the four of you were on good spirits by the time we're
It
getting.
was all good spirits at this point.
You're going first here, which kind of makes me assume that you were the higher seed. I don't remember what was Mary's position in this whole thing.
Uh, I'm not sure what his seed was, but I definitely was the higher seed going into this.
Yeah, and now we're seeing a bit of aggression. How walk me a bit through your plan in this matchup. Like, I haven't really played UP myself, and I would
So
assume that you want to be aggressive with your deck.
I
But
think I may have actually been testing into this matchup slightly wrong. I think this game kind of may show it. I've normally chose a more aggressive approach into this matchup, especially because I saw my hand had this play set up here with what's going to come down is a Mihawk Crocodile into the Mihawk setup.
I see.
Um, However, I do think I know I had this promo buggy here. I think denying the Zoroduros ramp may have been more beneficial here.
Mm.
Um, because if he had a Bonkley, he would have probably have dropped it on this turn instead.
Yeah, that is actually true. So you're kind of negating his early game plan, and he would need to go through a God Thread KO in a
He,
one cost.
but then the promo buggy plus Mihawk turn would prevent from Godfred as well.
Mhm.
You
Yeah,
know it's good vibes here when I'm swinging 5k into a 6k leader.
yeah, no, 100%. Okay. Yeah, so I guess it would be quite beneficial to just completely negate the Zoro Euro and he's already spent the card in hand as well. That's just going to be looking at him
Only
kind
way
of.
to get he's going second on UP. You want to get 2 ramps in. His only way to get 2 ramps in without that would have been to uh,
Double gear second
would have been
at that
double
point.
gear second or like Bonclay into gear second, but
Yeah,
we kind of knew he didn't have the Bonclay.
at that point we don't have basically the Dawn to play the Nami, so you get exposed to a lot of big swings on the way back, even if you double ramp. So it's a bit riskier of a position anyway. So yeah, no, that does make quite a bit of sense.
Pass his turn here. I did take the free block. I was tempted to take it for the extra card in hand, but I was feeling quite happy at this point with just keeping alive. I if I'd have had some research, I didn't realize Mary was a ex NL player, which definitely shows in this best of three. um, because I proceed to get very starved.
Yeah,
So I'm
no, that
assessing this
makes some
situation
sense.
here, and I'm seeing he's got the Bagger alive here, but I knew I had another very good leader power turn here, and I'm thinking I should be able to just push through this, which probably was a bit of a misunderstanding from me here. I just wanted to go for it in the end and just take out this Zoro, see if and then swing big into life. It does enable him to leader power next turn, but I knew I had a strong leader power turn coming up, and thought I could push through. I
I
probably should
see.
have went both into life here. That is one thing I do regret.
Yeah, I guess the extra value of bug is not going to be that big. It does kind of negate some shenanigans with like Sanji into Big Mom, if that happens to be the case. But other
Yes,
than that, yeah.
I think at this point I just wouldn't get turn the heat on.
Hmm.
I do see the high roll of the double, quadruple 7K bodies at this stage in the game.
And you're all set up for buggy now, but uh,
Yeah.
we are on Sanji territory, and that's gonna be very, very scary. So if you were to redo this last turn, you definitely would have swung those two into life instead of Sorojuro, I guess. But would you have
I,
attacked at all?
I was thinking about not attacking at all here. It's hard to say because I sort of know what's going to be happening next. I think I'd have still went 5 and then just into the Zordura and then 8 into life.
Okay.
It
Well,
does enable him to leader power, but I was thinking with uh, the extra mulligans I'm going to be seeing from the draw for Trash 2, I should be seeing my last combo pieces for my following turn. And even if he does hit Sanji into 9 mum, I should be in a very good position.
okay. That's kind of fair. Did you have the 10 cost in hand by this
I
point?
did not have a 10 cost in hand at this point, but I did have a searcher. I was really hoping to be seeing a 10 cost out of this turn.
Okay, I see. I guess the question mark is more around if you are confident on finding the 10 cost, it might be better to not attack.
That was the
Just
thing. There was a sigh of relief here when I saw him only play one body here,
mm,
because I'm like, if I see the 10 cost, I automatically win on the spot here.
yeah, yeah, I
Um,
guess so. But if you hadn't attacked, this would be a category, probably best case scenario, right?
yeah,
So if you 10 cost
it
that
doesn't make
category,
too much difference between a category or thing. The only thing would be playing into the Sanji,
mm,
which is harder for me to deal with.
yeah,
From my previous searches, I hadn't seen any 10 costs yet.
so fingers crossed.
Uh, I did see a search event in this top
Mm,
four, and I was thinking maybe I should have taken the search event just to dig further to find that 10 cost.
yeah,
But I was feeling quite confident that I may just be able to bully him through here. Um, I did happen to look at the bottom of my deck at the end of this game. Uh,
yeah.
I would not have found that 10 cost even if I had searched and searched. It was quite, it
Very,
was a bit of a
very cheap.
relief for me.
Okay, that's fair enough. It's kind of an annoying situation, anyways, though.
Oh, this is what I thought. I'm like, I don't have the 10 cost, but I can still put on a lot of pressure here and then just keep my board safe with
Emojis.
the emoji I just added.
Hmm.
So I was feeling pretty safe this turn and feeling like, yep, I didn't see the 10 cost, but I should have this in the bag here. Especially when he adds the Sanji here. Because I'm like, even if he plays the Sanji now, even if he hits another Big Mum, I'm going to have all my board of 7Ks to really push push him down on the clapback. But he did this turn is something I did not expect from him.
I know what it is. I don't want to spoil our
Yeah,
audience.
yes.
I know what's gonna happen here. You've been vocal about it on the story, and I can see him kind of like set up the plan in motion, right? Like
It's kind
he's
of
very
weird,
clearly
crazy
not
seeing
realizing.
the point of view of this. I see him
Yeah,
take Sanji like straight off the bat, and I'm like, okay, what is he set off of this Sanji? I know I even joked to him at the time of, oh, what's that? And lovely Big Mum, and he even postures the Don here for what's gonna happen. I
y-
just completely am like, he had the Sanji. Whoa.
yeah. But there's a Mihawk there, but obviously you are under protection, right? So,
Yes.
uh, ooh, there
So I
we
was like,
go.
even if he plays a Mum here or a Mihawk, I picture card in hand. He swings 9 at one of them. I emoji block it. I survive with all my board.
Yep.
And then he plays Usohachi, which completely threw me off guard here.
Yeah.
Usohachi has to be my nemesis for
It is
Moji Rally.
somewhat rough to be honest. It's not where you want to be. Yeah. I
And
think
then
he
you
was
just,
basically kind of considering, right? Like, do I use Usohachi or do I Sanji into Usohachi? And kind of brutalize the situation.
yeah.
And it
And
is
then
very, very tough.
9-9. I do lose both my emojis in hand here. Because I'm like, I can't not have a Mihawk Crocodile in case of follow up 9 mums or whatever. What's quite interesting in it here is his hand has got 2 Gum Giants here, so is sitting here very safe.
Yeah, he's also seen the top deck, although I don't think it was very counter heavy.
So then he swings this 7 here, which was really good call because he knows he's got the double giants up and it's very safe. This turn was the most pivotal turn of this game.
Okay, what did we draw in this spot?
Can't actually remember. I'm hoping I lift up my
Not
cards.
not the 10 cost.
I think it could have been.
That would have been sad.
Or, uh, this game gets blurry in my head from here on.
It's rough because I don't think you have a clean way to get out of this mess.
No.
Um,
I think that was what I was thinking at this point. It was just, oh.
that's okay. That's okay.
So he drops the giant here.
You get 2k, or just 1k, I think. And now you go 10.
I was very tempted to not swing with these here.
Yeah.
to try and hit him some resource, but then at the same time against UP, it always feels like if you're not applying pressure, then you're just going to lose by them having perfect knowledge in draw two. So my hope was kind of then just to try and rush him out and hope he doesn't have the extra 9 months to stabilize.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so now you're gonna swing again. Um, where are you swinging? Because I could see a use case of actually going into Nami this time.
I
Like
think I
getting
do
him
go
to
into
zero is
Nami.
irrelevant.
I hope
So
I go into the Nami.
like going for the Nami at least negates the defense, and he's double
Well,
gianted.
actually, I think I may not go for that. I think that my top deck here was the 10 cost. And I think I was weighing up, do I go for life Eve because I can potentially lead a power of an army the next turn and then push for lethal? That's what I believe my thought process here was.
Okay, that's fair enough. I guess the problem part of this, there's no leader ability, so you get that, but now you are very exposed to Nami just swinging into your body as well, right?
But then I'm also like, if the army swings, I may have an opportunity just to all on leader.
Yeah, I guess so. There's no 9 for healing this time, so yeah, that's fair enough. Oh, there is one more Nami there. Fun.
Yeah.
That is a good top deck.
I think this game very much shows that I hadn't played much into UPs who had gone full starve before. I definitely think that when they are starving, the 100% priority should be to get out 10 cost at all costs and play around that.
Yeah, maybe just keep the board standing as long as you can. Just bite other hand size with leader and kind of move on. Uh,
Being able to filter so many cards through their hand and deck with both leader power and these full up armies is brutal.
okay, you did get counter out of that Moji, which is very, very good.
Again, I think I was thinking here, do I try and preserve board and set up and try and poke and then set something up, or do I just need to go for it and pray? Um,
It's kind of difficult, right? Because you'd have two Namis on board there. So
yeah,
even if you remove one of them, going for it would look like probably a 6 and 2, a 6, an 8 and a 10. Is that the game plan? Or a 6 and 2 9s? I guess there's two giants and one Bagwagon that you know of, right? So you could be playing around um, gear twos instead, that you haven't seen that many of. But oof,
he does have the double gear too. Uh,
yeah,
we just try and block her up to try and keep this kind of stalemate. Unfortunately, I know from
oof.
countering already, but this is my last Moji.
That is not where you want to be. And now you need to defend your board again. But he's got the power play. So time's running out.
Fortunately, I always know when I've not got a Mihawk Crocodile in this situation that another Big Mom is just going to be a blowout for me. That the Red Rock on the emoji here was quite amusing. Um, it was definitely the correct target because then it just means he wipes the board.
And you don't get to draw an extra card either.
Yeah. And now at this point, I am just completely clutching for straws.
You kind of need to go 10 and pray. But you do know there's a
But
giant, so
I knew he. This was the thing. I even say I joked with him and pray there's no giant there. I was like, but you just saw me at it. I'm like, I know.
yeah, no, this is a death by 1,000 cuts. And I don't think you have other ways about it either. I guess Sables, but it's kind
Yep.
of the same thing. You just get to keep one more card in hand.
And also swing an extra Don, which actually does force an extra card off of the giant.
Did he just give you counter with a giant? Like, did he just trash counter with a giant? That's disrespectful, to be honest.
Yes.
The vibes were way too good.
And here I was like, please don't add a blocker.
I
Hey,
feel like you need to stop asking for things because they don't happen to you. But yeah,
yeah. I probably should have actually just. I was tempted to scoop here, but I didn't want to scoop for all the stream entertainment.
and you have plenty of time. You've been running quite
Yeah.
quickly, so it's okay. But yeah, I do feel like
I
that
think the
says
rest of this game was he could have definitely pushed me down a lot quicker than he does here. But
that
this
his inner NL is just playing it
he's
safe.
in it and now just fully takes over here like a cat playing with his food.
Ooh, yep,
And it was at this point where I'm like,
yep.
I don't
That
think there's a way of feasibly coming back.
no, that mom just seals the deal.
And
I
yeah,
don't
he,
think.
he passes here. He could have started poking me, but he has very good discipline. And
Yeah, although I guess you
I
could have been dead. I feel like at least a
yeah,
six swing.
he could have
Um,
gone 6-9 at me and then pushed me down onto two
Too
life
light.
for his potential free swings of the following turn.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna be very, very painful because he can go, he can math you out at that point unless you have the
The mana.
whatever it's called. But even if you do, it's not that bad a scenario for him either. So yeah,
But I do end up. I think my top deck here was another 10 cost just to rub it into me.
good baiting though. You're very, very clearly representing the love. So there is that.
It was quite amusing because I think one of these things he does do, I do get the love off of life.
Okay, I guess he didn't put you like keep your misery going for too long either.
Again, I know he's just added the GGG here, so that this swing isn't going to go through.
No. He's got the other two in hand now, right? Do you know? Or just one?
Uh, I believe I just knew one was in hand here.
And with the category. Yeah, now you're kind of in trouble. But I guess you just repeat the play, right? And just gotta go for it.
Yep. I
Ooh,
know. I know. Here, I was thinking, wait, do I go
maybe I
10k?
trick him. Maybe I
But do I
trick
go
him.
10k and hope he doesn't somehow have a 1k in hand after GGG? But I thought that was crazy. I was like, maybe my odds of like tearing him with Mello will be better than.
Maybe. Are they though? Are they better?
No. It was. I didn't
Ooh.
even have a Mello. It was. I'm getting confused with game
Oh,
two,
you got a
clearly.
G-Blade. Yeah, you're getting the G-Blade there. No. I mean, he did have the counter. We did see him
Yeah.
trash a 1K for the previous Giant, so he definitely did have counter. But like, ugh, that is rough. Um,
So I definitely
okay.
misplayed it in this game. And yeah, I hadn't really tested lines where I'd taken this promo buggy to deny that early curve, which I think would have changed the game on its head quite a bit. But certainly, I did not expect his that Uso Hachi turnaround turn.
Yeah,
Um,
that was brutal, to be honest.
and I have to give him full credit to that because that caught me like a sitting duck.
You know, that was very, very unexpected. What lessons would you say you learned from this game, though? Like, did you adjust for game two?
Say I think I didn't really adjust too much for the game two. I was just really was like, all right, I've got to see the 10 cost now going into this game too. I did not quite. I was thinking I've got the in that previous game. I was thinking I've got 7Ks on board. Maybe I don't need the 12K body, but it does make so much difference when pushing for that life.
That's fair enough. Um, I bet also you are gonna maybe take life a bit more aggressively now that you've seen the how eager he is to like
So
force you to go
I
low on hand size.
I was thinking this. However, I was still slightly traumatized from a game in Swiss against Enrico, where he poked me with a uh 6K swing on the forward on, and then just putting me, and then I completely didn't see Mihawk Crocodile.
That's fair
So
enough. Yeah.
I'm still had that very fresh in my mind of all right, I can't take that first swing. I think I later learned actually he doesn't actually run pudding in his list. So
Hmm.
I was playing around the non-existent pudding.
Yeah. The threat of pudding is better than pudding.
Yep.
You know how it goes. Okay. And did you think about time during your matches in general? Not only this one, but like in Top Cut. I know like the time limit is quite tight to finish 3 games. So
I think there
when
was
you are in
only
losing position,
one game where I really felt where it got into time situation. But certainly in this game, we were just having a blast. I did not care about time at all.
okay, fair enough. And if you were like taking a look now, do you think you should have considered a bit sooner that previous game?
Yes, especially because in Top Cut, if it goes into overtime and one person is 1-0, they just win the game on the spot. You don't go into overtime procedures, nothing.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's fair enough. Well, that's a good lesson for both you, me, and the viewers. So we'll see. Okay, game two, you're going first again. So that doesn't really change. I do see that Murray decided to attach to Don to leader first turn just because he can. So like the
I,
vibes are
he,
still there.
I went one Donald leader and passed. He went two Donald leader and passed. I mean, you had to do the fist one for that.
Yeah, that definitely is a good indicator of fun being had on both sides.
I saw him ready to turn those four Dons sideways, and I was like, "Oh no, I'm gonna get puddinged here after taking this."
The trauma. Um, Actually, it does seem like promo buggy might be more relevant than it looks in the matchup. I know that Mr. Second only hits once, but it's also kind
Yeah,
of interesting to negate that that possibility, right? It
because it
will
does
make.
become quite big to contest board.
Mhm.
And yeah, you see me discard two of them because I'm like, he'll only play one of them here. I mean, I do get it's quite unfortunate. I do get quite lucky in these games, and I do see the combo of double 7Ks.
Yep.
Uh, yeah, I discarded both promo buggies here because I was like, he's only gonna play one clay, and
Yeah. That is fair enough, and you do want as much pressure as you can. I don't think in this case it would have changed a lot, but yeah, that's fair enough. Mm. There were some doubts on the discarding part of this. Um,
it always sucks to discard a 2K here.
yeah, what else were you keeping in hand, if you remember?
I know I definitely had a second Mihawk Crocodile in there, and I know I had a Alvida to play off of it, and a 10 cost buggy in hand. And I immediately
Right.
I immediately laugh at myself for discarding the promo buggies here.
Yeah. I think if you play it, he doesn't play this, right? Or if you don't discard two of them, he might
Uh,
still
I mean, I think
play
he
it.
still plays it because of I believe this was his
Just
only
ramping.
ramp card in hand, and he needs to get to that double ramp.
That is very unfortunate, though. All right.
I know I actually kept a Gravblade in hand when I was thinking about this bad discard because I was wondering if he would play a Nami blocker on this turn.
You might G-Blade them. I feel like you still want to develop a bit farther, right? Like he's on 2 life. That's too healthy
We got
to
the classic. No
do
one in the
nothing.
room knew that one cost event could search one cost event.
Classic.
Even the even the judges had to check that one there.
Yeah, I don't blame them for it. It's one of the only exceptions, right?
It,
Um,
I think there is probably some other exception, but it's certainly probably the more relevant exception.
I think it might be just the leader locked ones, right? Like that only works if your leader is baggy, doesn't it?
I don't think no, it doesn't because there was a Nami build which was running this,
In them.
running like
Ooh,
8 one cost searches at one point.
that is kind of insane, actually. I was thinking there could be a parallelism with Sanji, or Germa Sanji, that if your leader is a Vinsmoke, takes a look at the top 5 to get a Germa. I think if your leader is a Germa, not a Vinsmoke, but anyhow, it is leader locked to Reiju for now. And it can search itself as well. So maybe both of them coming on the same set had the same like pattern, but seems like no, it's fine. Okay, the aforementioned Crocomihawk into Alvida, so we do have the protection going.
I discard this turn. I have discarded 3 4 cost buggies, which is quite amusing.
After using one as well, so
Yeah.
that's all of them gone.
Uh, the annoying thing is here I cannot swing this turn, um, because if I turn my board sideways, he will have these 7K bomb glaze at my board.
Yeah, now the promo clown is getting more value, more and more value. Hmm.
Yeah, especially if I'm looking to start playing the 10K, which I searched out.
That's gonna put you a bit behind on the race, right? And he's basically getting to this turn with 2 life, so
Yeah, this was the worry because I'd never seen a double bomb clay situation before.
we're back to square one. He's on draw into cards per turn mode. Has
And
a
it's
Basilian
very hard.
card and 3 life. Eesh.
Now, here, I think this was a misplay turn. Um, I think I maybe should have just been brave and stick a 10 cost, getting rid of the big mum, and not swing board, and just be happy that I've got a nice, happy board here.
Yeah. Yeah, those bunkers are gonna do a lot of overtime.
Instead, I do decide that I do not like it being on free health, and I decided to push this.
Yeah. remains and 3 life. He's gonna go down to 2, but that is not terrible.
And I didn't hate this. We both joked that we'd never seen Gravblade resolve in this matchup.
No, but it's kind of decent in this spot, right? Like he was on a weird situation for his deck. Double Mr. Chu. It's not
Certainly,
where you
I
want to be
couldn't.
into buggy.
Certainly, I couldn't ever swing while those two were on board. But I do think if I'd have maybe just played for 10 cost here, bottom deck the big bum, past turn, if he decides to swing at me with the Bonclays to life, then he will just lose them by Albedo and Buggy Swing, which I'm happy with. But if he doesn't decide to swing with them, I can then clear them the following turn with Gravelblade, which
Yeah,
I
but
think
now
is
you
the
are
better option.
out of body, so you cannot go for the buggy play no more. Unless you somehow get another Microc, maybe?
If I have another double body here, I can double leader power into it. I did not have another double body here.
Very not ideal.
So I do think that was the big turning point of this game.
Yeah, it does feel like you're lagging behind quite a bit now. He can use Giant for free again, so that's not where you want to be. Double clowns in hand too.
Yeah. So I kind of saw that I had the double clans in hand here, and I'm just thinking, do I just take the turn just to even the
Keep it
board
one
up,
body. Huh.
uh, and then I establish a 4 cost here, and that way I can
Play
still
body
reach.
plus clown next turn.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, I don't hate that. But you're very low on hand size, so
yeah. I was dreading a
oh my
stretch
god.
here. He has luck. I do have a luck that he has nothing here, but I was also very low on stuff here as well. And seeing him at those actually made me fear a lot.
hmm No way. That's why he's laughing. That was the fourth
Yep.
gear too. Oh my god. Yeah, we might need some better shuffling techniques. Oh, he's gonna blind it, isn't he? Okay, no, no. Yep,
Unfortunately, I do not have a Mihawk Crocodile here, and this is the big thing of losing your Mihawk Crocodiles in this matchup. You just start, your board will just start falling apart. If this was a Gravblade, especially, it would have been over instantly.
it's not very far from it though. Oh,
He's not very far from it because I knew my hand at this point was not a lot.
yeah, yeah, you're getting stabbed, and that's not where you want to be. He's got double kata in hand and a Sanji too. Oof. Okay,
Was hoping to
that's
draw
a good
something
draw.
with the Arvita here.
That is a good draw though.
You know,
Mikroc
I
would be
drew
the
into his
best one.
Searcher here. I was quite if I knew I'd gone through 2 Mihawk Crocodiles already. I was just knew if I could find the third one, I would be back in this game. Especially because I'd have one Don to Searcher and then find the Mihawk Crocodile and lead a power into it.
Yep. It's rough though because your hand size is against the wall the whole game. He's
Very rough.
definitely very successful at keeping you starved. You got rid of Sables. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Sables
That
doesn't have any really use in this matchup other than
bouncing an Nami for lethal at the end, I
yeah.
guess. Uh,
Which
uh,
in that point you kind of don't ever want to be in a situation where you need to be doing that. You just want to be
yeah,
winning on board anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, but Hail Marys work every now and again. He's a lot better at showing the hand to the camera than you are, though. We are getting a lot more Merit TCG perspective on it.
Yes. I wasn't too sure if he was doing it on purpose or not. Oh,
He seems seasoned around it, or very fortunate, one of the two.
that's
So that
it.
wasn't the Crocomie hook, right? Otherwise, it would have been in hand by now.
Oh, if this was a Crocodile Mihawk, it would be there already. It would have been no hesitation.
Ooh.
And then I do uh
I
play this
mean,
promo buggy after the double bomb plays are down.
I guess that
Uh,
Usuhachi is not attacking at least.
yeah, I was like, at least this gets me up to 4 bodies. And I've got a 10 cost in my hand ready.
Yeah, issue is it's about time Asanji hits the board.
And then
Yeah, his
after
shuffle seemed like it didn't work out at all this time round.
uh, it was at this point the judge was saying how much he'd cursed his deck.
Yeah, that was very, very weird.
And I think it only gets weirder here. Oh no. I'm just thinking of the gear too. I thought he bottom decked it and then drew the fourth one here as well. But yeah. Here's the Gravblade,
Yep.
which completely throws me off of this idea of I'm ever going to get to stick a 10 cost. And
Yeah,
this
that's
highlights how much that Mihawk Crocodile is crucial in this matchup.
yeah. I guess you're never swinging with both of them in your life again.
Yeah. And then I'm again praying for the Mihawk Crocodile.
Find it? No, it's
But
just
I do find
regular
my
Crocomie.
one-off copy of regular Crocodile. Uh, I purely play just in case I can't find a Mihawk Crocodile
Mhm.
and I need a double body. So he does kind of fit in this. He kind of does his job here.
Yeah. No, that
But
tracks.
I am unfortunately just giving him free cycle here.
Yeah. I mean, he's using that on a
He uses
7K,
a
so
giant up.
kind of okay.
Unfortunately, I
Uh,
have to play a Kabaji here rather than emoji.
yeah.
Um, I do know one of my painful searches of earlier this game was I had the choice between finding my 10 cost and bottoming two emojis. But with the last game present in mind, I did not want to go without that 10 cost.
Yeah.
So I did always know that my emojis were going to be a bit elusive this game.
Ooh, that is an interesting search because he leaves it on top. And he just has giants for days, I guess. It doesn't really feel like he's gonna have a window to play that Sanji pretty much ever, but yeah. Oh, that was a kata. I did not realize there was a kata in there. I thought it was two giants and
But
ooh,
I'm like, at least I get a window to finally play my.
10 cost. No hands inside, 10 cost, swing 10 at life is gonna be the turn. Or maybe 8-8. 8-6-6.
Yeah, where here, well, besides now, the 10 cost. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that searcher is going away. I guess maybe you were considering to keep the other card in hand and just hard cast the 10 cost.
Yeah,
Yeah, I guess doing that plus swinging a 7 is not completely horrible. It's not completely ideal either. And that category needs to go. You cannot really afford the game to carry on with
Uh,
him there.
being able to free block every turn is so much value for them.
Yeah, not only free block, right, but attack and keep blocking.
Yep.
And well, I guess we're not going to be seeing a lot of that from UP Luffy anymore because
Nope.
refunds.
Recording this after the ban list announcement does
Mhm.
feel very good.
Yeah, yeah. It is an interesting approach to bans that we take. I do like that they're trying things out a bit. I still feel like the main culprit of this whole format has dodged the bullet, but it is what it is. Um,
I do end up just keeping the card in hand here. I can't remember what this card in hand was, but I just going down to 0 cards in hand is never nice.
no, especially because you won't be able to do any shenanigans to play
If
buggy for a
if I
low
had
cost
a
combo.
emoji blocker here instead, I'd have probably considered it more. Um, maybe then maybe swinging some pressure on top of this with that 5 Don, but not having the emoji to replenish my hand felt very rough. With I think maybe I should have just done it depending on what this card in my hand was.
Maybe
Just
it's another
because
buggy.
this second Sanji does kind of blow me out here.
Yeah. I feel like if you do have another buggy, you could still be gaming. You just play it, swing with buggy.
Definitely was another buggy. Damn, why do I not show my hand to the camera here? I'm curious what's in my hand now.
Yeah, it's not very friendly for commentary this way.
It's
I'm
not.
trying to think what could you want to
I think
play
I
now?
yeah.
Okay.
That was the other card in my hand. It was a pudding which I chose to keep because I saw his hand growing big. We also were joking a lot that he'd gone through so many cards of his deck and hadn't seen a single Big Mum. So
Yeah.
I was kind of very acutely aware that the Big Mums were going to be coming up just by
Mhm.
chance. I think he also had 8 or 9 cards in his hand at this point.
Yeah, that's
I
fair
believe it
enough.
was 9.
I, if you were to swing with the buggy first, what do you think are the chances that he just takes the life?
See, I was debating that, um, but because of how easy it is for them to sort of gum giant out of these things, I actually
Yeah.
have seen a lot of UP players choosing to counter out of that 12k.
Yeah,
I kind
that's
of didn't
valid.
want to risk it. I am now gonna try and bite the bullet to get the pressure down. Like I have to put pressure on before this board gets out of control.
You went 8 with that croc, right? Yeah, it does look like 2 done, but it's
Eight,
not.
8, 12,
Yeah,
and then I pause with 2 done up.
fair enough. He still hasn't been the mom yet.
Seeing him add this Usohachi was very traumatic. Um,
Mhm.
he did already have one in hand, but the Usohachi does seem to be my least favorite card in this matchup. Uh, we are going to see why Mihawk Crocodile is so important in this matchup.
Yeah, away goes the blocker. Top life.
Yeah, I was curious about the top left as well, but um, I guess it means I'm not drawing into a Mihawk Crocodile or any combo pieces. Um, just a blocker at this stage of the game doesn't actually do anything for me.
Nope. That does not spark joy. He's got rid of 2/5 costs as well, which is very, very annoying.
Again, I'm in a similar position here with last game where I'm just thinking, okay, I need to set up a Hail Mary here. I've got the Pudding, I've got the Albedo, so maybe if I keep them around, I can set up a multi-attack.
Yeah, I don't mind that 12. Block. Oh, okay, cool. I was seeing that giant being used, and
Oh,
that would have been very terrifying.
it would have been.
10 here, right? Use the giant, but get him down to 9 done, so he doesn't get to later ability again. 12. Hmm, that is an interesting spot you're on now. I think it's the biggest swings you can threaten are double tens, which are not gonna succeed.
I think
But
I was just here looking. Do I just push one big swing and make sure I keep my little block board for potentially going for game following turn? Because I mean, anything I swing with here, which isn't the 12k, just dies. So I was like, just getting down to 0 life. Uh, Push him the next turn. But he does.
no, he still has giant, right? Because we did have the
Yeah.
category. Ugh. Okay, that's
Well, a
not
lot of
bad.
count out of his hand, but it does prevent him from going to 0 life.
Yeah. Let me. He no longer needs to do the Sanji play either, so I feel like he just takes one of the Namis, sends everything else down. Those god threads are not where you want to be. Or are those gear chews? They're god thread, right?
One of them was a gear 2, one of them was a Godfred. I'm not sure what the third one was, but it was an extra copy of one of them.
Yeah, I think it's 2 god threads and a gear chew and 2 Namis. Yeah, so we draw. Ah, that is interesting. It's actually not in the good spot for counter, is he?
Not really, no, but he's got the potential to play
Back one event. Yeah,
another blocker here. Got a gear second now, so he's got quite a lot.
yeah. I guess going tall is manageable. You're running out of time. Actually, it's kind of insane how quickly it went.
Yeah, we kind of were told at this point that we're running out of time.
Yeah,
And if we run out of time on this game, Mary does just auto win it. But
yeah. But weirdly enough, if you just beat him, you're gonna win on tiebreakers game 3.
there was that potential possibility. But I was not looking good at this point.
No, it's not great. But I just feel like he's gonna have to swing at you just to stop the possibility. Like he cannot really. I guess he has tsunamis, so he can always just
He just needs to
jump.
survive next turn, and then
Yeah.
he's pretty happy. That's all he needs to worry about. He just pulls me
Uh,
down and put his blocker. He's got a lot of counters in hand here. That's at least like 6k counter I see off the bat. Plus blocker. So it was looking pretty rough here.
yeah. 10, 10, 12, I guess. Or if you have, even if you have a way to remove that category, it's kind of the same to go 10, 10, 12 and to wipe it. Hmm. I feel like I like Nami better than category in this spot from his perspective, though.
I think Minami is kind of safer, but I think he actually mapped it out that he was fine either way. I don't know what I was thinking here, poking six. However, I definitely know that by this point in this game, um,
Yeah, I
I
feel
was
like you're just done. Yeah,
I felt like I was hitting a brick wall.
13.
I think I've actually done this at
Oh, it
Sanji.
was double zero cost event. That's the card. Huh.
That was the Mihawk Crocodile after all that time.
So I guess you went into board with that swing for 13,
Yes,
right?
yeah, I did. A vague hope of maybe trying to survive one more turn because I was pretty sure he had the counter for going for game. I
Yeah.
think just out of sheer, I had no options. I should have probably went for the game anyway
Yeah. I don't think like this.
because I
He
feel like I was
definitely
dead
can't
anyway.
save the Sanji, right? So
Yeah,
yeah, I feel like just going maybe 12 face would have been good enough. But it is very annoying. Yeah, those are way too many swings. Huh. You could draw another level of Mellow too.
yeah. I
Yeah, that's
I
right.
did think it was quite ironic that I did.
That is kind of it. Ooh.
So it was a very brutal 2-0, which is unfortunately quite annoying because I did have the dice roll on both of these, and this is normally what's considered a more dice rolly matchup. Um, However, I definitely know I made misplays on both of these games, so I can't be too
Bad
annoyed
about it.
that I lost it.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. I guess you're gonna value Mikroc a lot more if you are ever to play this matchup again, which is unlikely because of bans and
Unlike,
formats. But you know,
well,
at
if I do
least
play
you
this
did get
matchup
some
again,
lessons
it will be definitely in a completely different.
approach.
Um, wow, it'll be a completely different list than what we see today.
Oh yeah, yeah, no, 100%. Both of them probably actually. You definitely need to tweak things a bit for our green menace showing up and our returning Lord and Savior Sakazuki. So that's gonna be that. But in spite of not being able to take this win, I wanted to reiterate, like, you did amazing. Losing these semifinals is a lot more than pretty much like 99% of players get to. So congrats, and it's been great talking to you about it. Is there anything else you want to touch upon before we close the video?
Not really. It is really good to see sort of the game back on this third party perspective. I knew there's definitely areas of this match I wanted to review because I didn't play it perfectly. So it's good to get a review on it.
Yeah, no, definitely it's gonna help a bit, and it's nice to rewatch the replays even when you can be a bit harsh to yourself every now and again. All right, then before we fully close this, I just wanted to ask one final question, which is, which one of the two new circumstances in your deck do you think helped more? The Sabaody sleeves or the baggy leader?
Ooh. So I switched to the French baggy leader right
Mhm.
before Paris regionals. However, I switched to the Sabodi sleeves right before Portugal.
Oh, I
So
see.
I've not failed to get a, a,
Top eight cereal since you.
I've not I've not failed to get a cereal since switching to Sabodi sleeves. So I think
Mhm.
that's the obvious answer. I think
Okay,
that's the best advertising for the Sabodi sleeves there ever
100%.
could be.
100%. That's why all of our players bring them, not because they like them or because they look really good on stream. So yeah, all right, that's amazing. Thank you so much, Jake. Pleasure talking to you as usual, and thanks everyone for watching. Remember to hit the subscribe button if you've gotten this far and somehow you're not subscribed yet. Yeah, follow for more.
Thank you very much.